Hello everybody, I'm Teacher Ethan and today I'm back again with our RMO preparation videos. Well, today the question we'll be doing is this year's RMO round 1 question 20. And with that being said, let us take a look at what this question is all about. So starting off with the question, there is a 9-digit number that includes all the digits from 1 all the way to 9. And it also has the following properties. Firstly, all square number digits are adjacent. And then it also tells us that the sum of the first 6 digits is lesser than the sum of the last 3 digits. And then, well, the first 4 digits are divisible by 16 if it is an individual number. And lastly, all 2 consecutive digits cannot be both even or both odd. So now the question is focusing on what is the remainder when this 9-digit number is divided by 7. So well, there's so much information given in this question, so much text. So what is it that we can do about this? Well, it is very simple. The first thing is that we should be looking at it one by one, starting off with the first condition over here. So well, if we take a look at the first condition, it says all square number digits are adjacent. Well, what are some of the square number digits that we have from 1 all the way to 9? Well, I think we all can know that it is just 1, 4, as well as 9 as those answers that we have. So these 3 digits must be next to each other. And following that, we can take a look at the next condition, which is over here. The sum of the first 6 digits is just lesser than the sum of the last 3 digits. Oh, what information does this tell us? Actually, for those of you who are observant, you will realize that you only have 9 digits to work with. And with only 9 digits, that means that the sum of them is fixed. So, well, what is the sum from 1 all the way added up to 9? It is just going to be, 45. 1 plus 2 plus 3, all the way until 9. So with that, if I say that the last 3 digits must be bigger than the first 6 digits, well, what is a possible case? We can try to put it as big as possible. 9, 8, and 7. And what is the sum of that? 9 plus 8 plus 7 is actually just going to be 24. And we know 24 is more than half of 45. That means it is a possible answer. But can it be smaller? Definitely it still can. Let's say if it is 6, 8, or 9, the sum is just 23. So well, we know that as long as the last 3 digits is bigger than half of 45, it works. And based on what we just said just now, that's only 2 possible cases, and that is 7, 8, 9, or 6, 8, and 9. That is what part B tells us. Now we can take a look at part C over here. Well, it says the first 6 digits are divisible by 16 if it is an individual number. So class, let me ask all of you, have we learned about divisibility by 16 before? Well, actually, some of us might have learned about divisibility by 16 before. And what is it like? It is about, well, if you want it to be divisible by 16, oh, you just have to look at the last 4 digits. So with that in mind, well, that just means that the first 4 digits are divisible by 16. And that does not seem very helpful to us. And if you are querying about, well, why is it the first 4 digits? Alright? So the idea is like this. If it is divisibility by 4, it is determined by 4 times 25, and we only look at the last 2 digits. Divisibility by 8, well, we pair it up with 125, and it is the last 3 digits. For divisibility by 16, 4 digits. And with that, all of you, if you have queries that you want to know more about this divisibility, feel free to just reach out to our teachers by joining the group or messaging me directly. Alright? So back to the question. Oh, this does not seem very helpful to us. So what is anything that can do with this question? Since it's divisible by 16, most likely it is also divisible by 2. And with that being said, if it's divisible by 2, we know that, the fourth digit must be an even number. So that is all that we can infer from our part C. Well, no. Let's think. What about for the last condition that they have given us? All two consecutive digits cannot be both even or odd. Well, about this idea, what does it actually tell us? Let me say if one digit is odd, the next one following it must be even. So how does this help us with the condition then? Well, at this moment, I think some of us can already see that this should be one of the most important concepts in this question. Why? Because, well, if both consecutive digits cannot be both even and odd, let's take a big look about all of our existing conditions. Oh, the digits 1, 4, and 9 must all be adjacent. And then we see the sum of the digits based on the part B. The last three digits must either be 7, 8, or 9, or 6, 8, or 9. But if we think about it, oh, this question tells us that, well, 1, 4, and 9 must all be together. So what does that tell us? You can take a quick pause of the video and think about what this is all about. Well, everybody, I'm back. So, if we know that 7, 8, or 9 must be the last three digits, we know that 9 must actually be at the third position. So, well, if I know that 9 must be at the third position from the right, what is the next two positions to the right of it? Can it be 6 and 8? Well, we cannot be 6 and 8. Why? Because all two consecutive digits cannot be both even or both odd. And that tells us that the last three digits must be 7, 8, or 9. And with that, we can arrange it neatly. It will be 9, 8, and 7 in order. Oh, with that in mind, is there anything else that we know? Originally, we see that, digits 1, 4, and 9 are adjacent, and based on the consecutive digits cannot be both even or odd. How can they be placed? There's only one way, and that is, of course, 1 and 4 in front of 9, 8, and 7. So now, everybody, what are the digits that are left? Since the only digits from 1 to 9, we're just left with 2, 3, 5, and 6 as the existing digits. Now with that being said, let's think about these conditions. For 2, 3, 5, and 6, how can we possibly position them? Well, to the left of 1, what can be the possible digits? It must be an even number, and it can only be 2 or 6. Well, then what about the digit on the left of it? There's only 3 or 5 that is possible. And if we have selected those numbers, is there any choice for the last 2 at the most left? There's no more choices for these two digits. So let's take a list of those numbers that are possible. Well, there are just a few of them that are possible, and what are they? 3, 2, 5, 6. And if I swap the position of 2 and 6, I have 3, 6, 5, 2. Or I can swap the position of 3 and 5 to get 5, 2, 3, 6 as well as 5, 6, 3, 2. There's only these 4 possible answers. And now, if we want to make them divisible by 16, what can we do? There's only one way, and that is just list them down one by one and divide by 16. So let's try to divide them by 16 and we'll see what we get. And here is the answer to all of them. Oh, which one is divisible by 16? It is very evident to us that 5632 is the one that is divisible by 16. And hence, what do we know about our number? Our number is just going to be 5632, 1, 4, 9, 8, and 7. Oh, how does this help us deal with the question? We're just at the last part of the question where it says this number, we want to find the remainder when it's divided by 7. Oh, have we learned about the way to divide by 7? How do I check the remainder or the divisibility when dividing by 7? Do we know that? Well, some of us might have already remembered. To deal with divisibility by 7 or to check the remainder, we split it 3 by 3 digits. Starting from the most right of it. And how do we split it up? Let's do it. It's just like this. We split it to 987, 214, and 563. And well, starting from the right, we add and subtract those terms. And I get 987 minus 214 plus 563. And that gives me 1336. Oh, then now this is much more easier to calculate. 1336 divided by 7 gives us 190 with a remainder of 6. That tells us, oh, we have found out the answer to our question. The answer is just 6 over here. Well, everybody, that is the end of our question from RMO this year. And do all of you think it's hard? Maybe it's not that difficult. But now let's do a quick recap about what we have did and what we can summarize from the question. Starting off with the first point, well, if there are multiple conditions, how do we consider? We start off by considering the case which has the least number of possibilities. And we slowly move on to those that are more difficult to fulfill. And yes, of course, aside from this, what else did we have to use? Well, we used the idea about divisibility or the remainder when things are divided by 7. How do we check the remainder when dividing by 7 then? Well, cutting up 3 by 3 digits starting from the right, and after that we check for the remainder. Alright, so with that, what is it that we have learned today? It is just about these two conditions. That is still not the end of our video yet. Why? Because that is the homework practice question that we have made. So here is the practice question for all of you to attempt at home. And well, if you have done with it, feel free to just write the answer in the comment section below. With that being said, that is the end of our video. But, well, if you have any queries or are interested in our course, feel free to join our WhatsApp group for P5 and P6 Math Olympiad. If you have any queries, you can just message in the group below, and we'll all be very, very glad to help all of you. So with that being said, that is all for my session today. Thank you as well as bye-bye.